nothing happens to you, it happens because of you. You have to understand something, that success is not something that happens to you, but it's something that happens because of you. It happens when you are taking certain actions, when you're doing certain things and stop doing other things. It's a result of your decisions. If that's the case, then you're responsible to everything that happens to you, since it happens because of you. This is extremely important. This is probably the biggest difference between the successful people and unsuccessful. Look, when you believe that you are responsible for what's happening to you, you're going to take action. But if you believe that it's something outside your control and it happened without your will, then you're just going to leave it. Let's say you have failed your final. If you believe that you have failed it because you had a bad lecturer, the exam questions were totally outside the topic that it's supposed to be, or whatever reason it might be, then you're just going to leave it like that, because you know that it's not your responsibility, it's them. They're the ones who are unfair. They're the ones who should be blamed for. But what if you believe that you have failed it because of yourself? Maybe because you didn't study enough, bad preparation, lack of focus, whatever. What's important here is that once you believe that you are the cause, you start taking action. You start working on how the heck you can fix that. Even if it wasn't your fault, you got to believe that you are the reason. Let's say you have failed because of your lecturer. Your lecture was really unfair. Sitting and blaming her or him for being an asshole won't solve your problem. But if you believe that he or she was unfair because of you, then you are going to take an action to sort it. What could you possibly do? How can you make her be fair? Is there any way to find a common language with her? You're going to start looking for solutions once you believe that you are the reason, that you are in control of the situation. You have to live your life with a mindset that whatever happens in my life is because of me. You start a business, a financial crisis hits the economy and your business goes down. Believing that it's something that happened to you and outside your control, you won't do anything about it except blaming it. But believing that business is going down because of you, you automatically start thinking on what you can do to fix it. To get where you want in life, you must adopt this view that whatever is going to happen on your world, good or bad or nothing, is something caused by you. Once you start to approach every situation as someone who is acting, not being acted upon, you will start to have more control over your life. Everyone knows how important it is to set goals. However, most people fail to achieve them, primarily because they underestimate the amount of effort that's required to achieve them. Look, if you have a goal to read one book a month, that's pretty easy and you will not take it pretty seriously because the goal is not hard to achieve and you got plenty of time. So you might just keep delaying it until the last day of the month. Once the time is almost over, you will try to at least read half of it so that you don't feel guilty about yourself for not doing anything. But if you aim to read 10 books this month, that's pretty hard to achieve. You know that you have to work hard for it and you can't leave it until the last day of the month because you literally can't read 10 books a day. So you're probably going to work harder, take it more seriously, give it more time because you understand the size of the goal. If that's the case with us, that we put our limited effort in order to achieve something, why don't we set higher goals and achieve 80 or 90% of it? Isn't that better than if we set small goals that we know that we are not going to achieve 100%? I now realize that in my college, if I set a goal to get A for this subject, I would put enough effort just to get around 80% for my final and assignment so that I can score A. But what will happen is that at the end of the day, I will end up with B or B+. The same thing goes with those who fail. If you just pay attention, those who fail, they always aim just to get that 50% so that they can just pass that subject. But what will happen is that they will get a little bit below the target goal, which is maybe 40 or 45%, and that's why they fail. So the way I always get A is to focus to get 100%. That's a pretty hard goal to achieve, and I know that I need to really study hard for it. And if I don't study hard enough, I will end up with something around 90% and I would get A. And some of my friends sometimes tell me that why the heck you want to get 100% if you are going to get the same grade as the one who is going to get 80%, which is A. And this is the reason, because we most of the times underestimate the amount of effort that's required to achieve a certain goal. So when you set your goals, set them as high as possible. And let me clarify something here. I'm not telling you set goals that you can't achieve, but rather set goals that are equal to your highest potential. If you put maximum possible amount of effort, what can you achieve? How many books you can read a month if you put all the time and energy that you could possibly have? So in every aspect of your life, your goals should be at your highest level. Like, they should be super extremely freaking hard to achieve and yet realistic.